Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Statistics show that 1 out of every 6 Texans struggles with food insecurity and hunger. And many people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every day. The Better Living for Texans program is here to help you learn how to make healthy menu choices, save money at the grocery store, prepare quick and delicious meals, get more good nutrition in your day, and get more physical activity. Classes are fun, friendly, interactive, and free, and taught in English and Spanish. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show today. We are in Conroe, Texas. Yes, we are. And Conroe, Montgomery County, has been under the heaviest rain I have ever seen.
Is it really heavy?
It's heavy. It's heavy. Because it looks like I could call our land now Lake Cochran.
Lake Cochran?
Yeah. I almost said Conroe, and I went, no, that's not right. Lake Cochran, because it does look like a lake out front, and the water is running rapidly. And we have a creek behind our house, Lewis Creek, and it is. The kids went out and looked at it, and they said it was up at the bank, and it looks like whitewater rafting, stuff. But something that the city of Willis did, or maybe it was TxDOT or somebody. But anyway, they've got the drainage so much better, because usually you couldn't go down at all, down Calvary, because your car would be swept away. And in fact, I saw one truck that did, I guess he sped out, or he may have hydroplaned, I don't know. Anyway, he went off into the ditch, and I felt so bad for that guy. But anyway, it's been raining like that. And I picked up Cindy from school, and I said, man, I'm about ready to go out and start researching where I can get some gopher wood. Would you know what I meant if you heard me say that?
No.
Really?
Gopher wood?
Yeah. Did you go to Sunday school?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did, but we didn't bother using slang terms.
Well,
we actually focus on the Bible and understanding who Jesus was and serving like Jesus.
Well, what do you think Noah built the ark out of?
Gopher wood.
Very good. And so she said, what is that? So I told her. And I said, it's just this kind of weather. It's just rained so much. She goes, I get it. But I just had never heard that term before. And it was, I think it's funny. People don't realize that I don't know where this place is. I see the commercials all the time about the ark, and not the church, the ark, but the ark that has been replicated so that you could see how big the ark was and how they could have held that many, animals and all that.
I feel like as the Bible is getting older, the more and more people are just not believing it, because it's like, there's no way, that doesn't make any sense.
No way.
So somebody's with a lot of money is like, well, we can rebuild it to show that it's possible.
That's right, and they got funding for it.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny because they still didn't even test it.
Well, if
you know what I'm talking about, like
yeah.
It's on land. It's like, well, I mean, it could be like a replica all you want, but does it float?
Well,
so it doesn't really prove the point.
If God gave him here's what you got to do.
That's what I was like. That's what I should have done. Is just write them a note and be like, hey, just to let you know, like I would put that on water with all the animals if you really want to prove it. Like,
yeah.
This is cool that you can walk through it or whatever, but I mean, does it float? Because someone's going to show up when it does rain.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, they have an ark down the road.
Yeah, let's all go gather at the ark.
Let's go get on it.
There was a movie that they did that what's his face did
Russell
from The
Crowe.
Office, huh?
Well, Russell Crowe was in one, wasn't it?
He was in the it was the real remake of it.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
what's
about.
his
It's a
face?
comedy one.
Yeah, and he kept growing
Steve
the
Carell.
beard, and he thought, like, what am I doing?
It's like the Santa Claus, but for
Yes,
Noah.
it was. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so, anyway, but these people that go down there can't believe how huge it was.
Well, no, duh.
You know, it was. Really,
You know what they didn't talk about in the Bible is all the people that Noah had to turn away.
Yeah, they were banging on the door.
You know there was. I mean, the last couple days, people were like, "Uh-oh, this is actually getting pretty bad."
No, but it wasn't raining yet,
And-
and they had never had rain. They never
Yeah,
had
but
rain.
you know the neighbor's like, "Oh, Noah's right. We better go." And Noah's like, "Nope, you're dead."
They probably didn't even understand what the boat was because
They never
had
seen
no
a boat?
water. They had no rain there, and it was not.
They never seen a boat before.
No, I don't think they ever seen a boat before either.
You think so?
I don't think so. I don't know.
But no,
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
they
kidding.
should have talked about that. It's like all the people that Noah murdered, willingly because he was told by God to do it.
I think God took responsibility for that.
Because in reality, if that really happened, there's one guy that believed him.
But they were all making
And-
fun of him.
Well, I know that
The
was
whole
the
time
that
that
was
he was
the
doing
the
it.
story, and I was like, there's at least one guy or girl be like, Noah, I want to help because I'm not really doing anything else but tending to the land.
Mm-hmm.
I can help at like at dawn or something.
Well, God may have said, go
And
ahead and
then-
hire some people to help.
Yeah, and then what Noah did after that was like, nope, you can't. We don't have any room for you. Thanks for building like the left
Look
side
up,
of the
yo.
ship.
You
but-
can sleep with the donkeys. It's okay. But I think that if he were to do this,
He's like, I got to marry that daughter of his so I can get on that boat. Right? That's how you had to do it back in the day.
that's a very good
How many
point.
bodies do you think they went by on the boat?
Oh, they came to the surface while they were.
Yeah, well, everyone's drowning. There's
Nobody
probably a
was
lot of.
looking out the windows. No one looked out the window.
bodies
until
float,
that day.
don't they? And then they decompose and sink. I think.
I don't know.
I mean,
We test that out. Though.
yeah. I wonder what the Titanic was like. How many people were floating dead?
Oh yeah. Ooh, when it went all the way,
Yeah.
but it took them down with it. So what?
No, people were
They
jumping
just
off
stayed
the
in there.
ship,
Yeah, probably.
and that
jumped
poor
off the
guy
ship.
that hit the rudder or whatever. That's the best scene in the movie.
Hit the
I remember watching that movie, and when that scene happened, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where like the boat is
'Cause
fully
it
turned
goes down.
vertical,
Yeah.
and when that guy, I remember the sound system, you hear like a bang, and I go, did they really add that? They
added the
some sound. So the sound editor had to go in and be like, what does a body sound like falling 20 stories and then hitting a giant piece of metal? Bang! And I started cracking up in the movie. I'll never forget that.
Now I have to
'Cause
go
you
watch
got-
it again.
You got looks. People were looking at me. And I'm like, oh my god.
Now I gotta watch.
Well, it's
that
kind of
again.
like, you remember Meet Joe Black? You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember the openings, like one of the opening scenes when Brad Pitt's character gets hit by the car?
Oh yes.
But he doesn't get hit by a car. He gets hit by like 4 cars. And I remember watching that movie. I was on it. I want to say I was like 12 or 13, and it was like we all went because everyone loved Brad Pitt. So all the, you weren't allowed to go on dates by yourself, but so all the kids got together and we went to go see it.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember laughing so hard at that. I was sitting there going, like, because they love Brad Pitt. And then all these girls in the group love Brad Pitt, but then no one was expecting him to get tossed around like a rag doll. And I'm like, whoa.
It was so great. I mean, I don't know if that was the first time they used that effect of hitting and going, going through somebody.
If no one has any idea what we're talking about, just go to YouTube and type in like Meet Joe Black wreck.
Yeah.
And but what I love about that is when people were making movies, they have to like figure out, because that scene's totally fake. That wasn't a stunt double. That looked like original CGI kind of thing.
Right.
And they're like, hey, so what's the scene we got to work on for the next 4 weeks? Oh, okay. So Brad Pitt, right? He gets hit by a car. But then when he gets hit by a car, he gets flung into a bus. And when he flings into the bus, and then the bus hits him, and he deflects off the bus, and then he hits the pavement. So like, but it has to happen under like 6 seconds. So it's like, it's very surprising to the audience.
Yes.
But it has to be like, oh, he's dead. Like he's got to be dead.
Oh, but he's gonna make it.
Well, because the director was sitting there and they're storyboarding it, and and it's like, oh, on the script it says he gets hit by a car, and then it's like, well, a lot of people get hit by cars, and we don't know if they're dead or not. Like a lot of people survive that, especially in New York. I think they're in New York. It's like especially in New York. So how do we make sure the audience knows He's dead. Oh, he's got to get hit by a minimum 3 things. A minimum.
The bus was the funniest. But
well, I know. It's just like, I
but
mean,
what was
and
the-
that poor woman who saw it. I'm pretty sure, didn't she see her, or was she her back towards it?
she had her back. She was sitting in the
They went to the cafe
yeah.
and
It
they
was
met.
through the window. You're
Yeah.
watching it happen in the window.
Okay. Yeah, because so she didn't see it. Like, she didn't
Yeah.
see okay. Because I was thinking to myself, like, if she saw that and then she saw the reincarnation of him when the devil like went to Brad Pitt's body, I'd be like, didn't I see you get like thrown around?
Well, what was the one of the first movies I think that was used was in it was the movie about one person saw that the plane was going to crash and they're trying to convince their
Final
friends.
Destination.
Final Destination. That's it. I think
Yeah,
that was the
great.
first one that I
Great
saw.
movie.
That
See, that's
that
what, you know,
effect
probably
used.
what it was is the effects guy who did meet Joe Black. Like, we hire that guy for Final Destination because we
Yeah.
got like 10 deaths we got to do.
right.
And some of what I like about that movie, imagine being the guy creating that movie. It's like, we got to think of these crazy deaths. And they did tap into some like logical fears that people I've seen, I think, have happen all the time. Like, I think one of the movies had that fear when you're driving behind a logger truck and you're like, you know, there's
Yeah.
20 logs on it. And you're like, man, what would happen if that log just fell off? I'm like,
That they had a picture of that on the Houston Press is an old
yeah, I know who they were.
newspaper, and so they would show the weirdest and they would show really graphic things, and this the lumber came off and hit the guy and decapitated him,
Oh, yeah.
and they have a picture of the front of his
I love
car.
it. I love it.
was-
I think it was because as they made like 7 of them, and there was one you're gonna love this, like because they have the whole build up scene where the victim is in a truck at like a McDonald's or something, and he's like dancing in his car, and you know, and the guy behind him is in a truck. And he's not paying attention, you know, his brakes are bad or something. So they're building the scene up, and he finally gets up to the drive-through window, the victim, and he's like dancing, you know, getting food, and then all of a sudden in the back you see the runaway car come in. You're like, oh, the car's just gonna hit him. That's kind of like, what's that gonna happen? And you see him dancing, and it shows the guy behind him not paying attention, so he's getting closer and closer, and then the car ends up hitting the guy behind him. You're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal, but somehow it threw the engine
through the back of
like
his car.
over to the next car to the victim, and then like the fast food guy like turns around and it's just like this engine just kills the guy, and then it turns and it starts spinning because the engine's still on,
Right.
and you're and so I was like, man, these guys are really creative. I like it.
No, I know this is. I mean, I thought I was the only one that was like it's morbid, but I love to see how they creatively will kill someone, put their eyes out,
Yeah.
stab them in the eye, stab them in the ear,
Just
and all
watch
that
John
stuff.
Wick.
Yeah, that's why I love John Wick's movies. They're great. And when he did the thing, he was where it was all glass, and he's having to use broken glass
Oh, yeah.
to mess them up. It's I like that. I don't know why. I'm sorry, but
But yeah, the
my
Final
kids
Destination
get it.
movies are pretty wild.
the what?
The Final Destination.
Yeah.
You should watch the newer ones because they're just out of control.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Oh yeah, like that was just like that one I told you about the truck engine going through.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Oh,
Some of
okay.
them are intense, and you're just like, man, these guys.
I love that. I saw 2 of them, and I liked them, and I thought they're just going to do the same thing over again. So I didn't watch any of the others.
Well, they always
came
have to
through.
have the picture
They always have to have a.
the picture of the group,
Oh yes.
because that's how death finds them, and that's how they realize, like, oh, it's only the people in this picture.
in the picture that's going to get hurt.
Yeah. And they get creative with that too. I think one of them's on a roller coaster. So you know how they take pictures of you when you're going down on a roller
Right.
coaster? That's the picture.
Oh, that's so that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to.
Because like
That's
because
awful.
the
Awesome.
guy, his vision is the roller coaster breaks, and like of course they all fly off in like terrible deaths, but then like they don't because they were prevented getting on the roller coaster.
Well, it's like that lady that just recently, the video went viral because she's talking about that guy that's at the back of the plane. She walks up and she starts yelling that he's not real. He's not real. He's not really there, and screaming and all the people are just videotaping her. They don't like nobody's reacting to what she's saying, but they're just videotaping her, and she's trying to warn everybody. And I've always wondered, like, if somebody said, "No, don't get on that bus. It's gonna crash." Would you not do it? Would you not go?
Oh, probably.
You
Because I've always been that kind of person that's never in a rush. And you're like, well, okay.
Let's see. I'll stand here and watch the window, and as the plane takes off and explodes.
Good thing you didn't get on that.
Yeah, yeah. And all the people that didn't go to work on 9/11, they have.
I bet there's some. What do you call it? Regret. There's certain type of regret people feel psychologically. I forget what they call it. Like, it's not remorse. It's not guilt. I think it is guilt. I think it is guilt. Yeah.
They do feel guilty, but
well, the best video, not the best, but the most ironic video is. Have you seen the video of the college students on during 9/11?
no.
So there's a video. I think you can look it up, and it's a bunch of college students in their dorm or in their apartment. It looked like a dorm, and I guess classes were canceled or something. And it might have been because of like the first plane or hit, like something happened. They didn't know what was going on, so they're all drinking beer.
Yeah.
And they're all just sitting by the window, and they're like, "Man, look, that's crazy." And then like they all see like the second plane hit, and all their faces are just like. They're all holding beers, and it's like there's just college students drinking beer at like 9 a.m., 10 a.m.
I mean, most people thought it was special effects. Like it was a movie. Like they clicked on a movie.
I bet nobody. Only people on the ground really knew what was going on.
No, they got, somebody's. There's a journalist or somebody, and they have a camera on them, and then the camera swings up, and because they start saying that plane, like the plane's coming, and so the camera goes up and gets hitting.
Think of the chaos afterwards because of the missing person idea. Like so many people were missing, and no one knew what was going on, and so you're thinking about your husband, your daughter, your whatnot, and you're like, you're waiting.
Yeah.
And that's when I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder, does the Army or the military, when someone dies in their service, do they still notify you in person?
Yes.
But is that the first time? Like the first time you hear about it?
Yes.
So they still stick with that. So
yeah, they don't notify you in any other way. That happened to my cousin. Her husband was killed in friendly fire, and so she said she opened the door, and everything was weird. Like, why are you here? And all that. And she said,
because I know there's a movie I want to say it's called The Messenger. I want to say it's called The Messenger, but it's about the two guys who do that. Like that's their duty,
right?
And so the whole movie's about them delivering that news to different families. And it's a really neat movie. I think Ben Foster's in it. I forget who the other service person is.
Man, you better get paid more.
But yeah, I was wondering that the other day because I was listening to a song about Vietnam. And it's a Bruce Robinson song, and it's called Traveling Soldier, and it's like a story of a young girl meeting a soldier who's going off, and he writes to her, and it's about him writing and like where he is, like where he's stationed in California, and he's training, and then when she hears it, it's over the intercom at the football game because they say, "Hey, everyone bow their heads for the fallen," and that's how the first time she hears it is.
And they say his name?
Say his name.
It was his girlfriend.
It's a great song. But yeah, well, you don't really. I mean, that's It's they kind of imply that
because they say they have to notify the family first.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's what I wondered. I was like, I wonder how they do it today because now everything's email and everything. So I was like, that'd be crazy.
Oh, I'm sure because someone just talked about.
They probably have strict rules for the social media too. It's like, say you lost your best friend, and you a couple days later, you're like on social media, like I just lost my best friend, and everyone's like, Joe's dead.
Well, what I don't understand is why would Facebook allow all these? YouTube. Why would YouTube allow these false claims of people dying? R.I.P. This famous movie star just died, and here's a picture of the wreck. And it's just a picture.
Oh, well,
and you're just holding and I'm not gonna click on that. But it's all these narrative. Somebody told me one of my friends had died, and I was so afraid to go to the Facebook to find out it was true. It was horrible. So they do that with people that aren't celebrities either. It's
Well, I mean, I
terrible.
don't think YouTube intends to let that happen. I think it's just more of those community things that need to be reported on, and then eventually
Yeah.
it goes to their system.
Have you ever reported someone said, I don't, and they ask you, why are you objecting to this? And so you say, it's annoying.
That happened at the very beginning of Facebook, because you know I like to take pictures. And I took a picture. We're all hanging out at a buddy's house, and we're in the backyard, and people are swimming and whatnot. And I posted the pictures of like, hey, I took pictures. Hey, you know. And then I didn't know, one of the pictures said like, your picture has been taken down. And I was like, that's weird. Like I got what? And it said like I have like one more strike or something like that. I go, what? What? I didn't post anything wrong. And I started going through my pictures that I edited, and then I noticed in the background, like probably like, I want to say like 20 yards, one of my buddies was mooning me.
Was mooning you?
Yeah, so like in the picture you see a tiny butt in the like the corner, and you didn't even see, like I didn't even notice it. And then I was like, I guess because it said inappropriate behavior. I'm like, we're all 17 years old, we're not drinking or something. But yeah, so one of my buddies mooned the camera in the way background, and I guess someone reported it. I was
You
like,
wonder today, would that be reported? Well, I think that we want to talk today about hypnotism and being hypnotized, because
I mean, isn't that tomorrow?
What?
Oh, never mind.
It is tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have on a lady who is a certified master hypnotist, and she's going to come on and talk about what she does and the parameters that she is in, and how she uses hypnotism. And she told me something that was really interesting. She said that in the Army, way back when, they had a hypnotist in each camp because they would run out of
Chaplains?
no painkillers and stuff. And so, because of course, to me, I always thought they used liquor they'd liquor them up, to try and do surgery and
Yeah,
things
but
like
liquor
that.
takes, I mean, at least 30 minutes to even
To
go
get-
yeah, at least.
to feel I mean that's what you see in the movies, but
Well, yeah,
said no,
I
they
think
would
I think
use-
it's more like afterwards.
no, they use this to get them to, for surgery. And I was fascinated by hypnotism because I started reading about that they were using it. So, and they'd show video of somebody having their arm cut open, and I'm like, and they're not feeling anything. They don't feel it. They take them
Yeah.
away.
Well, I also think I imagine hypnotism is a real thing, but I also think the Hollywood kind of glorified it to where what you think of hypnotists is that's not what they're doing. Like they're not making this person jump off a building.
No,
But
but they do the embarrassing things. They do stage hypnotism, and they bring, especially in
See,
Vegas.
I don't even know if that really works, but I can
They do it.
understand. I can see hypnotism working for like smokers. I can see that.
That's what
working.
it did with Sam. Sam came home and cleaned out all the ashtrays and then threw them away. He just cleaned them out, just make sure there wasn't any smell of smoke, and said, "I've quit smoking." And I went, like that? And he goes, yeah, because he'd been trying so hard to.
So you
quit
saw a
smoking.
hypnotist?
Yeah, he went to as a seminar, and I don't know. I was in the 70s, I think. But you go in and you sit.
So next time I see Sam, I'm gonna call him a sucker.
Say,
It's like you gave in. You gave in to the voodoo, dude.
what? No, he kept saying, nobody's going to hypnotize me. I'm not
Yeah,
going to be hypnotized.
he's a sucker.
No, but he wanted to quit smoking, and so he believed that
I like
was
it.
gonna help
His
him.
heart was in the right place. He was vulnerable.
He was
He made
vulnerable.
himself vulnerable.
Yeah, he made himself vulnerable.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
I didn't think he had it in him.
Me either.
Yeah.
Me either, and he did. And so 'cause when that worked for him, I definitely signed up for the weight loss thing.
And that totally worked because you used to be like, what, 500 pounds?
But yeah, and the drugs weren't helping, so
Yeah.
I thought I'll just.
Well, you switched to different drugs.
Yeah, no.
You were doing uppers, and then you went to the pot or something, and you're just eating all the time. And
I did try the pure protein the drink that was just pure
Yeah.
protein, and it was and that was like could kill people because of how they would
Keep
do
drinking it?
Huh?
They keep drinking it.
It's just like you're taking too much of the protein
Oh, yeah.
drink, and it was bad for you. But
But isn't that kind of funny, though? Like, especially like weight loss. Everyone doesn't do like the one thing that's recommended was exercise. Like,
right, that's right. And you know what? I am so angry that Ozempic and all these others have started. They found out that people were losing weight. The diabetic who had to take
Yeah.
the medicine, they started losing weight, and so that caught on like crazy.
Yeah.
And these people started going to the doctors and saying, "I want to be on Ozempic," and so they would let them. They let them be on there. They're not diabetic. Now I can't find the
Ozempic.
medicine. No, Trulicity. Trulicity is what I got on, and I can't find it because they think any diabetic medicine is going to help them lose
Yeah,
weight. So they
That's
start.
how it works.
Yeah, and it was just, and it makes me
I'm
so
surprised you didn't
mad.
go through your underground connections for it.
Well, I went to the CVS in Conroe, and they have it.
Okay.
They said, "Now we just got it in."
You
The
can't tell
pharmacist came on
anybody.
and said, "Now listen, we just got this in, and you're going to have to sign up for an automatic, replacement, so we can keep it for you, knowing you're going to be there. But to order it is horrible. It takes so long for us to get this stuff." So all you people that are using that for weight loss, you're hurting the people that have diabetes. But it opens up the blood vessels. It's supposed to, and it lowers your blood sugar so much. That's why I'm wired. No, I'm not
Yeah.
wired.
Well, what I love about those kind of drugs too is how many people judge you, considering that like you originally were taking it because you're diabetic, and now it's turned into a weight loss drug. So everyone just thinks, "Oh, you're trying to lose weight," and you're like, "No, I'm diabetic," and it's like, "No, yeah, okay, yeah."
Yeah, is that what you're telling me? Wink,
Yeah.
wink. Yeah. No.
I mean, same thing with Adderall.
Well, I'm trying to
I
prove.
just like to go fast, guys. I'm not trying ADHD. I don't even believe that's real. I just like to go. I just like to go.
Well, I'm trying to disprove that that it doesn't make everybody lose weight. But
Well, that's because you're actually diabetic.
yeah, that's what proves it because I'm fat taking this
Yeah.
drug, and it's
Well, you know
okay.
what that reminds me of? So what I love about those kind of drugs and people, especially the prescription, is like how to use it and what's it for. And so what was it? I was looking at the hair loss stuff because I'm getting a lot of ads for the little mints for ED, and they also have hair loss stuff. And I was just reading about it, because I was always curious, like, what do you call it? The snake oil hair loss stuff has
Right.
been around forever. And then you were reading these bottles, and it says, it straight up goes, use twice daily at like XYZ sprays, whatever. But then it says, do not use it more than twice a day. It will not make it grow faster. But the way it said it, I was like, is that because it's bad for you or just because it's not going to work? Because that kind of screws up your expectation. Because
No, because they know every human is that way. They'll
Well, a
like,
lot of times
if
it
do
says-
it once, I'll do it 3 times.
But I'm saying that, like, a lot of times when it says like don't take more than whatever because of health reasons. But see, this is it, like the way it says, like, don't be a dummy and think that you can just keep spraying it every day and it's gonna make it grow faster.
Right.
Because it didn't say anything about health risks. Because I don't think it's like an over the counter thing. It's not like you have to be prescribed to it. I don't think so.
The Newfold. You're talking about like Newfold.
I have no idea what's in it. I wanted to look up what's in it because I was just curious. Because all of a
Yeah.
sudden, everyone's selling this stuff, and I was like, did they just discover this or like?
Well, what I wonder is if hair loss, some of it is age, some of it is, it's your genetics and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But does the certain products open up the pores so that they
I
it
don't
can grow?
I don't know. Well,
Does the pores
I don't
close
know.
off?
I have no idea. Are you want me to buy some and try it out?
Well, I thought you do research on everything.
I do. That's why I was curious because remember last time Andrew was in here, I was like, yeah, I'm losing my hair. And I was like, oh, I guess I can just look this up and see what it's all about. Because from what I understand, reading about it, it's a preventative too. So it's not like you get your full set of hair back. It's like it slows it down, losing it, and then it might bring back some, but it's not like, oh, hey, your 12-year-old hair is going to be there.
Well, it may be all crumped up under the
I don't know.
old pores that
I
have
have
closed
no
off.
idea.
That would be
I'm just waiting so we can just transfer bodies.
transfer body.
Yeah, you're like the whole thing where Elon Musk is doing the chip in the brain. You just
Oh yeah.
so I can just be like, you know what? I want to be 12 years old. Just kidnap this kid for me, and I'll put me in there and put the 12-year-old in my body, and then let him loose on this insane asylum or whatever.
And transfer. Yeah.
That's what you do.
Like because if you get the right all the right chemicals that you need, that brings back energy and
But
Just-
I don't need it for this body. Just give me the 12-year-old. I'll be like, oh, I want to be 12 years old again. 12-year-old.
no, you wouldn't. Would you like to be 12 years old with the knowledge that you have right now, right?
Yeah, you don't remember that movie plot I told you? Like you can go back in time, and you'll be your 12-year-old self. And you'll know everything, but you're still your life clock is still ticking from the original birth.
See, but I think
See,
I
that's
think we argued about that because I said no, you wouldn't want to be that. You wouldn't not want to be because you wouldn't have any friends. Everybody.
I wouldn't really care.
You really wouldn't care. Well, maybe it would work for you because.
Like
but
you're
I mean,
saying, if some magic genie goes, "Hey, I give you an opportunity to go back when you're 12 years old, right now. Like right now, you're gonna
start over.
start over." Yeah, why not? Why would you?
Where are
like,
my parents? Are my parents?
Yeah, like there's no catch.
Are you going back in time? Or are you reversing the time warp? What are you doing? You're going back.
You're just going back in time. Imagine hitting your head and you die, and that's the dream you have is you get sent back to your 12.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I do believe in the Bible, and I believe what God said. And He said,
Well,
that
which
we
one?
would have-
There's like 12 different versions.
no, but He said we would have glorious bodies.
I guess.
And He had me there. I
you-
didn't read anymore. I said, okay, all right. Because, imagine what He would consider glorious if all the stuff He's
I don't know
created.
everything. He's created some ugly things.
No, He didn't create them. He didn't create 'em. I pray for you every night, Richard. The things you say, I can tell God, He's just kidding. He doesn't mean that.
Okay.
No,
I'm not afraid to be judged by anybody.
you're not afraid to be judged by Him.
No.
No, but aren't you afraid though? Because in the Bible it says, God will judge you the way you judge other people. Do you judge people?
No, I live by the gold.
harshly?
I live by the golden rule.
Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. So sometimes the way you treat me is what you want me to treat you?
Yeah. We have fun.
Okay. See how long I last here.
Yeah. We have
Because-
fun.
Okay. I'm not harsh to you. I'm
I'm not asking you to be.
well, yes, you are. If you're being harsh to me, that means you want
Like
me to
I.
be harsh to
Yeah.
you.
I think that's fine with me.
You don't care.
No.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
love language is sarcasm.
That's your love language of sarcasm.
Yeah. Some people hate it, and I'm like, all right, deal with it. I don't care.
That's really deep that you know that. You understand that. Sarcasm is your love language.
I like a
I
good.
wouldn't tell anybody on the first date that though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, that's what what's so funny to me is there were so many things, and I'm talking about my previous relationship. Was there were so many things that I told straight up, like this is who I am, this is how it is, like this. I'm just letting you know, like I'm.
oh, that's how you did before, yeah.
Yeah. So what was great was I don't know if I told you this the other day. I found the vows that she wrote,
Yes.
and one of the things that she loved about me was I will always be myself. And she made a couple like funny notes, like, "Oh, hey, you'll wear you'll do whatever you want, and you'll wear a Hawaiian shirt in December,
and she
and
thinks
things like
that's
that."
so cute.
Yeah, and then I was thinking like, when she just skipped town, I was like, "Yeah, she skipped out because I do." She's like, "You're always doing what you want." I'm like, "Yeah, I try to do things I like to do."
Oh, I wish you had found that before.
Oh, so I had a great laugh with that. I was like, "Yeah, I guess it's a double-edged sword." Living life the way I do. You go both ways, man.
I think.
But what,
I just wish you could have had that before, so you could have. As she's telling you what she thinks of you as she's walking out the door, you say,
oh,
"But what-"
I don't really care for like the end part. I mean, whatever. You knew
Yeah.
what you're. That's why I had felt no guilt in it. I was like, I
No.
was always me, and that's one thing I felt really good. Is that's what my mother told me. She's like, you never. I know you've always been you, and so it's not your fault. because she was trying to comfort me. And
I'm trying to comfort you.
yeah.
That's so sweet.
And I was like, yeah, whatever.
You know, Mom will tell you
On to the next
anything you
one.
want to hear.
On to the next victim.
Yes.
Right?
But see, you would believe everything your mom would say to you, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
I called her BS the other day.
What? What did she say?
I want to say it was like I was helping her cook something. And I was like, no, you're doing that wrong. You're lying to me. Or something like that. I don't know.
You were telling her she was doing something wrong,
Yeah.
or she was
I
telling
told her, I
you?
called her dumb. I was like, you're so dumb.
Richard.
Yeah. And I said, is this an age thing? Do we need do
Richard.
Okay, I didn't say that to her.
Your mom's young. You know, I could have babysat
Yeah.
your mom.
I know my mom's your age.
Your mom's my age?
Yes.
I thought your grandma was my age.
No. My grandmother's 94 now, 95.
Oh, I thought.
Jeez.
So your mom. So I think you should be really nice to your mom.
I am nice to my mother.
I don't think you should say things like you're dumb.
We both call each other dumb.
Oh.
Where do you think I get it from?
Well, but she has a right to call you dumb. But I mean, she has a right because
Right,
of her
uh-huh.
age, and she's your mom,
Yeah.
and she's the
And
authoritarian.
I'm allowed to call her old
Yeah.
and say you're incapable of doing things now that you're old. And
That is
I go
so mean.
and
Don't
I go,
do
Mom,
that."
you're so old. You need to let me do things for you.
Okay. Well, you didn't finish this
Yeah, you
the
didn't let me.
sentence. Okay.
And then I remind her while I'm picking this heavy thing up, I'm like, the reason I'm picking this up is because you're old.
Oh, that sounds just like Samuel. It's terrible. He holds my hand and my arm like
Yeah.
like I'm.
I do
you
that
know,
too when
he's
she
crossing.
needs help in the car.
And I said, "Honey, you weren't here when I got in the car to come over here to get you and all that." But he'll treat. It's so sweet. I mean, that's what he should be doing. But
Yeah.
it does kind of make you second guess yourself. You
'Cause
know,
you're old.
when you're.
Like I'm old.
No, but you're not old. You're not. You know,
I'm
you're
not. I'm
old.
not 18 anymore. I'm not running sprints down the road and trying to do things I'm incapable of doing that I know.
Well, that's all subjective.
Like I would love to do like a soccer league or something, but I'm like that's just not worth it.
No,
I'm gonna hurt myself. So.
you don't take naps, do you?
No, the only time I ever really take naps is if I wake up really early. Like if I wake up like at 4 a.m. to go hunting or something, there's probably going to be a nap later.
Now, see, that's
Later
good
in the
that
day.
you understand that, because Sam will
It
say,
just depends.
"Why are you taking a nap now?" Because I get up at 4:30 and to get the kids,
Yeah.
take them to school, and then I come back and everybody's still sleeping, and so I'm go back to sleep. Yes,
But I think
great.
the thing that it's not necessarily a nap thing. It's more of you listen to your body.
yeah.
Because there's certain things, patterns I get into, and I'm like, man, I really just gotta go to bed early tonight because it's just I know the next couple of days, and it's like you listen to your body,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's like going to bed early might be 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but if your eyes are closed, you go, I'm going to listen to my body.
Yeah.
My eyes have already closed. Here I am. I'm going to go to sleep now.
Because there's like, do you get two ways of getting tired? Like the two ways I get tired is like mental tiredness, meaning like even if I'm up, like my body's up, I can't do certain tasks that I like to do. Like say it's like watching a movie, and like my brain just can't compute right now. Like I'm up, I just can't do this right now. I need to figure something out. And then my body will be tired, like say from working outside, but my brain is open. And that's perfect movie watching feeling because you're sore and
True.
you're just like, all right, cool. I just have to sit here, but like my brain is like really active. And I can tell the way I'm tired is by playing a video game because I really enjoy playing video games. And then if one of those things isn't working for me, I'm like, I'm that tired. I need to.
Well, and they talk about how that light tricks your
Oh,
brain
yeah.
into feeling like you're
It doesn't work.
No.
It don't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Though
And-
what's sad is when I read, no matter how tired I am, I'll go to bed
that's
in like 20 minutes. I'm like, oh God,
Okay. Now I've gone to church all my life. I love church and all that.
that's the best place to sleep.
But but a lot of times preachers get into a cadence.
Oh
that
yeah, my
it's
math
just
teacher
like
was the same way.
I mean, it's amazing. So
I had such a problem with one teacher. They literally told my parents they think I have narcolepsy, or they were worried about what was happening at home.
oh dear.
Oh yeah,
Oh, dear.
because like without like, cause she I would never forget this because we had like a meeting, like a parent teacher meeting, and they were talking about it, and I was sitting there going like, what is this about? And she goes, without skipping a beat, at 11 o'clock or like I think it's like 10 o'clock, Richard's asleep at like 10:05. He'll come in, he'll be fine. You know, we'll do the opening things, and then all of a sudden, within 5-10 minutes, dead asleep. And so she was seeing if everything was okay at home, like.
Is everything okay at home?
And then she's
love
like, I
that.
think Richard might have a problem, narcolepsy. Like, I think it might be a thing. Because she's like, he's fine when he comes in. He's smiling, going, you know,
Yeah.
da-da-da. Boom, asleep. Like, full-on drool asleep. And
Drool asleep. I love that.
And my parents are like, is there a problem? And I was like, I just go to bed. Like, it's the way
Let's
she
think
talks.
about it.
It's the way
Wait,
she
you-
talks. I can't help it.
But do you dream?
Oh, yeah. I had a
do
weird
dream?
dream this morning.
What was it about?
I had like a ingrown toenail, and it was just like I was living my day-to-day life, and then my left toe, big toe, was hurting every time I was walking. I'm like, man, what the heck? Man, what the heck? Like, this hurts. Like, did I stub my toe? Like, and then finally when I got home, I took off my boots, and like my toe was just giant. And then like I reached down there, and it was real sensitive, and like I opened up where the cuticle part is. And I was like, oh my, and it kept opening and opening and opening. And I was like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. And then finally the pain woke me up. I was
going
like,
to say, to the pain.
yeah, pain
wake you
woke me up. Yeah.
So what was the real pain?
My toe did hurt a little bit.
It did?
A little bit. Because I actually, what's funny, I woke up and I felt it. And I go, gosh, darn it. If I have an ingrown toenail and I dreamed about it and I actually have one, I'm going to hate, like, I just don't want to take care of this right now because they're painful to take care
Oh,
of.
of course.
And-
Of course.
And I was like, this is gonna be the worst day. And then
Now,
after
how do you take care of it? I know how you take care of it. 'Cause
I
I'm
use
a
my
mom.
teeth.
No, to take care of an ingrown toenail. How do you take care of it?
Go to a podiatrist.
No, if it's growing around like that into your into the
You go to a podiatrist.
if you'll in the center of your
Or you can
toenail,
go to those salon ladies and they know how to do it.
Wait,
you don't have to pay the price.
I'm telling you, you go to the center of the toenail and you clip a V in it, and the toenail will start growing back together,
So it's a waiting game.
and it'll
I ain't
pull it
waiting.
back out of the
Well,
out of the flesh.
what's funny? A funny story for you is I went to go visit basically the girl's mom,
You
and
visited the girl's mom.
we're visiting the girl's mom.
Okay.
And I guess she forgot she had a date or some other obligation. So she goes, hey, I'll pay for you guys to get a pedicure. And I was like, I've never gotten a pedicure. I didn't really care. But she's like, but y'all have to leave. And I was like, this is bizarre. Well, who's coming over? You know, and she was trying to tell me she was tutoring somebody or something. I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Some
right.
guy's coming over. And so we go. And the lady, and this is, I've never really been to a salon before like that. You know what I'm talking about? You sit in
Yeah.
these like weird space chairs and it's doing stuff. They have the boiling water, it looks like. So we get this whole treatment. And without even telling the lady, because I had an ingrown toenail at the time, and without even telling her, she just went for it.
She went right to the.
She was like doing the nails and everything, and I'm sitting there talking to my friend, and I'm like, oh hey, you know, da-da-da. What on earth? And I look down, and she's like, oh, this isn't okay. I'm like, you're already halfway there. Just do it. But yeah, that's when I learned, like, oh, they can take care of that. I don't have to go to the doctor anymore.
They would have. They have to put me out. Like,
It was.
Put
I mean,
numbing-
then again, mine aren't really that bad. Then I never gotten to the point where like it's like pussy or anything like that. Those are outrageous.
Richard, I'm so glad we're not during the lunch hour or breakfast hour, so we can talk about anything.
But yeah, I never got that bad. It's only occasionally too. Just depends on when I was, especially when I was playing soccer and stuff. That's when it got real bad.
Oh yeah, well sure.
So,
I guess you don't wear protective stuff over your feet, do you?
well, yeah,
No. Wait, does soccer they wear? Is that a hard shoe they wear? Is it
leather.
It is.
Mine's leather. I think
Well,
I think
want-
it's camel leather too.
But see, I started
Or
talking
kangaroo.
about
It's kangaroo leather.
hypnotism, and it goes off into the way we do
Yeah.
conversations.
Well, we only have a couple more minutes.
What? Only 2 more minutes?
One thing you didn't talk about, I was surprised, was the Oscars nominations were released, I believe, on Sunday.
And I hadn't seen one of those movies.
Well,
not
my
one.
favorite joke that came from it was only Ryan Gosling was nominated for an Oscar for Barbie.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh
someone
my-
pointed it out. It's like the lady director didn't get it, Margot Robbie didn't get it. The movie, I think the movie might have got nominated, but it's like, but basically it's the plot of Barbie. Like Ken's the only one. Ken gets it.
He was the best looking one there.
Well,
But-
he did such a good job in that movie. Every time he was on screen, I was along for the ride. Because the
Yeah.
Barbie element, I didn't really understand because they were trying to do that silly thing where like the original owner of the doll was
Yeah.
depressed, so she was depressed. Now, if they cut that out and like she herself was starting to feel like what it's like to be human because Barbie started questioning things, which is
Right.
great. That was cool with that. But when they tied it to where like they had to find the doll's owner, I was like, that's kind of silly. Like, what about Ken? Does that mean Ken doesn't have a doll owner?
Yeah.
Does he? And I don't think he did. Did they ever talk that? Did I miss that?
I don't.
Because if all the Barbies are
No.
being reflected off of their owners,
Mm-hmm. Well, they're reflected off of the female Barbies.
but the Kens don't have an owner,
I don't think so.
because that's the only thing that really I was like, okay, but going
I
back
mean,
to
well, they made it back then. They made it so the boys would have a doll.
well, I know I'm talking about in the plot of the movie.
Yes.
She had her aha moment because the owner was depressed of the doll, but no other Barbie was feeling the emotions of their owner and the Ken's owners. And then because they were, because at the end of the movie, I was like, so Ken was just being a butthead. He's the only person in the movie I felt actually had a true arc in the
Right.
movie.
Right.
But Ryan Gosling, the lines he had, I couldn't like. He just whoever wrote that movie is on top of it. It was so funny.
Yeah. He nailed that. He did nail that.
He's
part, that's right.
Knuff.
But
He's-
that's so
he's
funny.
Knuff.
But the other movies were all these self-searching, and
Yeah.
and or time period and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. Well, people didn't. Do you remember the end of that movie?
The what?
The end of Barbie.
The end of it.
Yeah, like the last scene.
Aren't they driving?
No, she's going. She went to like an office. She's like dressed up all professionally. She's like at the office.
No, you remember
She's like,
that
I mean,
movie
she's
better
like,
than I
I'm
do.
here for my appointment, and she's
Okay.
like for the gynecologist. You don't remember that?
No.
And I yeah, and that's
probably
like
got up and left
that's the
with him.
last scene of the movie. And I remember in our movie chat, I go, "Hey guys, I know y'all love Barbie," because I was like the last one who saw it because I waited till it's on HBO. And I watched it and I was like, I'm kind of confused though. Does that mean the sequel is going to be in a gynecologist's office? Like, that's kind of wild.
Well, it was always, when Barbie and then Ken came out, because Barbie had, breast, and then everybody wanted to find out was Ken going to be automatically correct?
Well, that's what I mean. That was the joke. I got the
Yeah.
joke, but it was just kind of like, that's the last scene. That's what you're doing.
Well,
Like, she's just a normal girl now. I guess that's kind of crazy, but whatever. And
but,
kid,
but it was confusing because kids went like, wait, he doesn't have a
yeah.
brother does. So,
Oh, that's when people actually saw that in reality, people are not dolls.
you want to get started on that subject? Yes. So anyway, I identified with
Yeah, I don't.
the Barbie doll.
That's a great movie, though. I enjoyed it. It was very clever. There were certain jokes
Who
in that.
did you see it on? Wait,
HBO Max.
Okay.
It's on there. But
I
no,
was gonna
like,
say I couldn't see you walking
because every
into a movie
scene
theater.
Ken's in is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
He-
and I think that's what I think that whoever wrote the movie knew how to make the jokes about Barbie and Ken and that world, but then there were certain plot elements where it's like, come on, like especially like the doll thing.
Right.
I didn't really understand that, and I knew they needed someone to drive the plot, but then they kind of went over it and like, oh, now Barbie's her own Barbie, and I'm like, what about the other Barbies that are still Barbie-ish? Like
But I couldn't understand why so many women that went and saw that related had Barbies when they were little and all that, but they cried. Everybody cried through the movie, and I'm sure this way the reason I don't remember the last part is because I got up and left because I thought this is so stupid. I didn't enjoy
you just gotta
it.
go with it.
Well, I enjoyed the popcorn was great. The hot dog.
What's I'm
was
saying
good.
that if you're watching a movie about Barbie, you just go with it. There's certain movies that you're just like, all right, like Transformers, just go with it. Like,
Well, I was just waiting for Ryan to come back on because Ryan Gosling I thought he's so cute, and I enjoyed him, but I just didn't. The whole Barbie idea and that kind of stuff was it was lost on me. But I can't believe he won. He's got
nominated.
the nominated
Yeah,
for it.
nominated.
What else was he?
Well,
what was he nominated up against?
what I love about that though is when you watch the Oscars. If you haven't ever watched the Oscars, they do the award ceremony and they do like little clips for each person nominated.
Right.
And I think he's in the supporting actor, so it's like Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, and then like all these movies that are real serious.
Right.
And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you see a shirtless Ryan Gosling. He's like, I'm Knuff. Or Knuff. Yeah, Knuff. That's why he has a shirt that says Knuff. That's what he had an arc in that movie. He realized he's Knuff for himself. He didn't have to serve Barbie or whatever it was. But it was great.
Man,
And
you remembered that. That really impressed you.
I remember a lot of movies that I watch.
That's good. I remember the popcorn, the hot dog, and all that. No, but
here,
Beekeeper. Oh,
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
No, we got to get wrapped up.
Okay. All right. Go see Beekeeper. I'm going to say that again. And tomorrow, be with us because you're going to meet this master. She's certified master hypnotist, and we're going to see what we can do for you. Okay. All right. You guys have a good day. And first responders, salute to you. See ya.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or